Good evening. This is RFC Maki here, doing yet another flight report. This flight was a online battle that I set up. This was a online versus mode taking place on the Ruhr map. This is a battlefield domination game, the object of which is to control airspace, and then potentially to do damage to your enemy's airfield. I've been on the chase for some skins for the Hurricane 2, Hurricane Mark 2. I'm actually wearing the second skin. This looks like I think it's like a 1942 Royal Air Force skin. The second skin available for this plane. But I'm on the chase. You need 30 online kills against human opponents. So this particular game, there was one other human opponent playing, and the rest of the planes were AI. So first thing, I've been flying the Hurricane a lot, and learned it's an early war plane, not that powerful an engine, and one has to be super careful. The first thing that you need to do is attempt to build up some altitude. So I circled my airfield to gain a little bit of altitude, just so that I'd have an advantage. For those of you who haven't listened to my other reports, my game settings are sim settings all around, with no marked enemies and nobody marked on the map. I do that because I enjoy the idea of spotting and identifying planes without having words pop up and tell you about it. And I also like the possibility of being able to evade an enemy, that you can actually use an evasive maneuver and lose an enemy, or part of the game is to keep track of your enemy. So this is a custom battle mode. A lot of people don't like to enter those custom battles online. Here I've spotted at the moment 2, and then a third plane will pop up here in a second. Very quickly you can see one plane is being pursued by 2 biplanes, and it looks like the third biplane is coming in from my right. I know that these guys are all AI. In fact, the biplanes are Gladiator Mark IIs. That's what the AI good guys use. The AI bad guys in this game use a G50. I think that's the model. It's an Italian plane, painted about to fly, and it looks like my 3 AI friends down the G50. He parachuted, but no need to chase after that guy. Most of this map takes place around the city of Essen, which is what I'm flying over. There's a little bit of a factory station off below that to the right, and a river running from one end to the other. And you can see this is where a lot of the mess is coming. And essentially in this game, as long as none of my AI team are flying Hurricanes, which I don't think they were in this game, pretty much anytime I see a monoplane in this setup, I know that I'm dealing with an AI enemy. If I see a biplane, I know it's a friendly. I don't think any of the enemies are flying the Italian biplanes. You don't have tons to add to this game. I've been learning a lot. You can see that I'm trying to improve my looking around behind me, making sure nobody was sneaking up. I get penalized to play that a lot in online games. I knew there was another player in this game somewhere, so I was trying to keep an eye out for it. And here I am spotting a G50 and initiating a bit of pursuit here. I don't have a lot of energy. I don't like to ride the WDP. So as he takes a turn, I initiate a lead turn and get a deflection shot, hitting his oil tank. He smokes and pulls his basic maneuver. And it's flying cockpit mode. I did some external shots here to make it more interesting. You can see he pulls a really nice maneuver up and over. I slow down on the throttle, try another snapshot that didn't seem to work. He's awfully close, and my 8 machine gun probably shot past him, doing very little damage. But the pursuit is still on as he drops to the deck. I probably did the same. Another attempt at some shots, and I may have hit him, but certainly didn't do anything to knock him out. He still attempts to flee. Yet another attempt at shooting. Cuts across my nose. Then more shots. I still can't seem to put this guy down. He's kind of weaving back and forth in basically a scissors maneuver. And he pulls a great turn. I always seem to mess up with that turn inside me. So I initiate a split S to reverse, keep my energy up, and he's easy to follow with that oil trail. as we go for the head-on this time, I lay a quick snapshot off on him and hits his engines and knocks him down. You can see there he goes, smashed to the ground. So that gave me for the game my first kill, which was against an AI. Spot again. Here's a whole series of guys. Now, this one I knew I didn't want to climb too much because I was going to lose too much energy. I'd rather climb slowly. So instead of looking up, I look down and level. The hurricane will really drop you out. I spin out quite a lot, lose my energy. So I'm following two planes here. It looks like we've got a friendly chasing a bandit there, or at least a friendly chasing a bogey. Check my 6. And right there, that third plane comes racing through, shoots right past my friendly. I can tell by the body that that is a BF-109. I didn't know what model it was at the time. I found out a little bit later on in the game it's the K4, so it's the latest model plane in the game with a maximum speed of 655 kilometers per hour. That plane is dangerous. Now this guy did not notice me. I took a few shots and didn't seem to care. He's flying along like he has no concerns whatsoever. But you can see very easily that my plane, my poor Hurricane, cannot seem to keep up with his. I cannot keep up with this plane at all. And he gets farther and farther away. And the only way to close, I decided since this was the most dangerous guy potentially on the board, I would stalk him and follow him along. So I initiated a series of lead turns. What those do is those cut the angle, and assuming he turns, that brings him more into my view, lets me get a little bit closer. I've got my gun ready set at 150 meters, which is going to be just slightly smaller than the circle on my reticle. So that's going to keep me, means I've got to get close. Sometimes I wonder if I'm flying this plane if I have to set my convergence a little bit farther. But again, a lead turn allows me to gain some distance on him, and once he goes for the straightaway, gets out of my range, but I'm still stuck with him. He has no idea I'm following him. I know the 109s are tough to check the 6 on, but he doesn't seem to be concerned with looking around. And I noticed at this point that he's doing a lot of wild firing. He'll fire a few shots, but not really pursue anybody. It's like somebody flies in front of his plane and lays off a few shots. And this added with the fact that he's not looking around tells me that he's not so concerned or not really aware that I'm there. He's just kind of zipping around the sky as fast as he can, chasing down whatever eye he can handle. So at this point, I'm still pursuing him, still hoping, and I don't know if his wild firing helped him run out of ammo, but you can see there he just dropped his wheels, and he's going into the airport for a landing. And I went ahead and took the shot, finished him off for an on-line player kill. Now, there may be some that might think, well, it wasn't really, it's kind of a dirty shot because he was actually going in for a landing and I should have just let him land, but I had played this guy in the previous game. I had accidentally taken off in a bomber, and I had gotten just to the end of my runway when he shot me. I didn't even get my wheels on the ground when he shot me, so clearly this guy has no problem treating people on the runway. And second, his plane so far outclassed mine as far as energy performance that I felt like I could take advantage of that shot that I had. I took the kill. That was my second kill in the game. That one was actually against a player, not just an AI. So while he's in the respawn pool, I decided to fly around. Did not want to hang around his airfield and stalk him, but you can see there are a pair of G50s that I'm following. Those two are following one of a friendly gladiator. Check my 6 just to make sure he's not up behind me. And I was following his plane going to attack him when I got the on-screen message that he was ready, which meant that his plane was on the runway again. So I decided, rather than go after this guy, he's still about 100 meters out of my gun range. Rather than go after that guy, I would go ahead and turn back and at least keep an eye or track that 109 pilot as best I could. Again, I was trying to go for kills. I think at this point I don't remember how many kills I had. I might have had 21 kills. That might have been my 22nd kill on my race to 30 kills for the skin. So I went ahead and tracked my way back, keeping an eye. That explosion was his crash plane before. It's just not that far from his airstrip. So I head that direction, and then knowing that this guy's got a lot of energy, his plane can really outrun me. What I did not want him to do was to take off on the runway, spot me, and then just sort of race up in the sky and blast me out. So defensively, I climbed, building a bunch of potential energy that I could use to drop down on him, hopefully help me catch up to him. And as he takes off, I started to track him, banking around, hoping to come in behind him. I misjudged on just how far to come in behind him, and I think I left myself too far behind as he raced off into the sky. But at this point, I was tracking his movements in a hope that again I could catch up to him. He's dead ahead of me. There he goes, right there. I ignored that G50 and dropped in front of me. This guy is several hundred meters away from me. Not much I can do to catch up to him. He pulls a turn. You can see I return it a little bit to gain some distance, but again, he's still probably about 200 meters off, maybe 300 meters. And then every time he goes straight, his plane is completely outspeeds mine. Another danger I've discovered with the Hurricane is that you run it at 100% throttle the whole time, and you will burn up. You will overheat your oil. There's a really nice working oil gauge in the cockpit. You can check that. And it starts off at around 80 or so, and the more you have it on 100%, the more you burn. So I keep it on 100% in pursuit here, all the speed I can, but I've been trying to back off to about 85 or 90% other times just to keep that oil gauge from blowing up. I haven't even happened to the plane. It doesn't crash or anything once that oil overheats, but just to make sure that I'm not going to one day just dive out of the sky, I've been trying to watch that a little bit. So I'm sticking on this guy and watching him. I don't know what he's doing, but you can see that he's flying as fast as he can, not really pursuing anybody, just sort of whipping around the sky. Again, he makes a return. Again, I initiate the pursuit, and it gets me tantalizingly close, but you can see I'm losing energy there. One thing I've discovered, or second thing I've discovered about, we had some wild firing at nobody, sort of a deflection shot. Kind of a half-hearted pursuit, but not really. This guy may not be used to my approach, where he may not be used to spot people. For whatever reason, he nosedived into the ground and fell. I never took a shot at him, so I can't claim any of that kill. I don't think he was fleeing me. I don't know what he was doing, but somehow, maybe he was trying to look around and he nosed down. He's clearly not used to looking around and keeping an eye out for enemies. Anyway, back to the point, I've discovered in the Hurricane that even though it should outturn many of the other planes, or at least some of the other planes, if you constantly turn in a circle, you'll eventually burn up your energy fairly quickly, and you will stall and lose out. So I've been trying to match my turns with the number of straightaways. I'm like at 100 meters, we took a few shots. He's now about 75 meters away from me, and trying to get my nose steady, take a shot, hit his fuel tank, and he spins out. That was enough to kill him. So that is tally number 3 on a G50. So 2 AIs and 1 player. I don't know. I did not see the human player respawn yet, or maybe he did and I missed the message on my chase. So I've got no idea where he is at this point, whether he's a threat or whether he's anywhere, which means I'm going to have to keep an eye out for him and hunt for him from the start. He did stick around the entire game, I know, for the scorecard, but I don't think I ever saw him again for the remainder of the game. You can see behind me there were a couple dogfighters up there. So again, I reverse. You may notice in the bottom of the plane, those are rocket racks. Don't bother putting the rockets on the plane. We kind of pull to shoot something down with them, but whenever I have them, I spend my time trying to shoot something down with them, and I think I miss the easy machine gun fire, but I let it go. Here I am, taking a kind of a dive near the end of their airfield, but I didn't want to bother shooting anybody on the ground or going after ground planes. Looking up in the sky, there's a couple of dots just to the right of the reticle, and there's a wounded plane trailing oil and water from radiator and oil hits. And he's coming in from my left with a number of other planes up ahead. You can see I'm on the tail of the G50, but this other G50 is cutting across in front of me, and I have a choice. I could try to catch up to the first G50, but the other one was cutting across, which meant I could initiate a lead turn and gain on him faster. So I did that, and plus I figured he'd be easier to bring down, damage, and certainly another hit on the back of him blew up his engine and sent him flying out, leaving me 4 kills. Now I can turn my attention back to the other G50 that was there, but I sort of lose him in the turn. That was a gladiator I just spotted. Another smoking plane down to my left, but the G50 comes at me head on, or at least we pass each other straight away. And there's one down there in the lower left, sort of hovering over the city. You can see that. And I drop my nose down and begin the chase. Very difficult. Looks like I just spotted him get over my nose. Looks like I missed him entirely. Don't know what I was thinking, so I went ahead and abandoned that one and turned back to see if I can find another target. Above me, I could try to rise up and meet him, but again, that would leave me stalled out. So another thing I've discovered, a good way of stalking those guys, is to keep my nose relatively parallel and turn with them, leaving them above me, keeping an eye on them as best I can. And eventually, at least for the AI, they drop an altitude and they will often come down to your level. There's another G50 that's already passed. I tried the reverse. Distracted by a different G50 up in the air and wind up losing track of the first guy. I'm noticing I only ever seem to check my 6 back on the right, which is probably a dangerous habit. I need to check both sides as I go. I chose for this game the cloudy map. Sometimes actually having a black dots of the planes is a little bit easier to spot against the cloudy. The cloud ceiling keeps most of the players contained within a certain altitude, although theoretically they're pretty built above the clouds and be completely undetectable. You can't detect anyone in the ground come up there either, so it's sort of a risk. Another gladiator, and looks like here's another gladiator above. Still hunting for a G50. I'll check a few shots. Apparently a G50 passes above me and heads down. There's an AI player there. Heads down into one of the more cinematic aspects of this game, through the factory smokestacks and factory spires, and I pull up, hoping to use the energy from the up going down to help me reverse faster, and I believe I just lost track of my guy. There, it looks like he's moving back behind me, moving off to my right, and I couldn't spot him. I probably got tricked and wound up chasing after that gladiator in front of me, so lost my target. When you get close to the ground of the building's here looks so great. From up here, it really is a stunning scenery, stunning view. There's a G50. Just had my nose, my snapshot didn't work, but it's somebody I can chase. He initiates the scissors, but he reverses his scissors back too quickly, and then flies straight for whatever reason, allowing me to get on his tail and down, and he suffers damage to his engine, and he drops without failing onto the ground. And I love that little extra message that he suffers damage to his right aileron. I think he got more damage than that. But he is down, which gives me 5 kills for the game. I was pretty happy with this because this was unlimited ammo. I mean, this was limited ammo, and I still have ammo. Didn't have to go back to repair. Managed 5 kills and 1 against a player. I hope you enjoy this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the skies. Cheers.